Coming to you live from St. Charles. This is Optimal Play. I'm Brandon.
I'm Jordan.
And we are the core of Discovery.
That's right.
What are we doing? We're discovering.
We're exploring the Louisiana Purchase.
Right.
In an alternate monster-ridden horror world.
You didn't tell me about the horror part.
Well, monsters.
There are
monsters in horror.
There are. We did play one game of this. There were minotaurs. So
yeah.
I guess it's a little bit of a fantastical take on the Lewis and Clark expedition.
That's right.
Which would explain why we're setting out to kill giant killer hive mind plants.
That's right.
On this fauna scenario.
Flora.
Fauna. Flora. I'm totally. I know my words. Anyway, so this is a cooperative game that is affectionately referred to as like a minesweeper-like game.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Want to tell us what this is and then reveal our... Well, I guess not much will be revealed, but we can show the scenario.
Yeah, so this is a board, and each of these little circles has an icon under it. That's going to be something that we're going to find in the this wilderness of the Louisiana Purchase.
Paths, they're called, right?
Right, they're called path spaces. And we're setting out from, we actually don't know where from yet until we reveal this, but we're setting out from St. Charles. And our goal in this scenario is, all we know is we have to defeat the giant hive mind with Greek fire.
Yeah, find and defeat giant hive mind Flora with Greek fire, which is a great sentence.
It was a great sentence.
Yeah.
So we have some basic rules about the logic of how these spaces are going to be placed on the board. Mm-hmm. For instance, water and wood will be next to each other. Those are two of the resources on here. And we're going to be using that logic to try and find our way through this path, which requires us to find in order certain types of terrain. So a shelter, then water, then a flora, etc. To find our way to this giant flora hive mind and kill it with Greek fire.
Yeah, I'm just going to firebomb some plants.
That's right. And along the way, there's going to be little flora minions that we're going to encounter. And if we can't discard a fire to kill them, one of our crew...
Eat a member of our crew.
We're going to eat a member of our crew.
It's pretty
if the
violent
fifth member of our crew is eaten, we are going to lose.
That one's us.
That one's us. That's right.
Actually, the fourth one is you.
The fourth one, This one's Madame Boniface. And,
exactly.
This one's York there. I love that.
Right.
And in addition to that, we're going to have to keep ourselves...
These two are Lewis and Clark, but who really needs them?
Right. 1 and 2. And we're also going to need to find water and food along the way to sustain ourselves. And if we can't do that, we'll also lose.
Right. And there are challenges.
There
might be minotaurs this time,
too. There might be minotaurs, yeah.
It's going to be a whole thing. Yeah.
Do you want a more in-depth explanation, or are we good?
No, I think that's good. This is not a how-to-play video.
Right.
I'm sure there are... Actually, I didn't check. I'm guessing there are good ones.
I think there are. There are ones.
Yeah.
I haven't watched them.
But we'll narrate what we're doing as we go, so I'm sure you'll get the gist of it from what we're doing. With that, should we pull out... So this comes with like a blank sheet for you to not see all these while you put the tokens on, right? And then we can reveal it. Oh, if I can do it without moving too much stuff around. There we go. There is our Flora scenario.
And so there's some info on here. It says our goal is to kill a giant plant. The peak, the highest mountain we can see, is on space D4. So that's going to be right there in the center of the map. And there are going to be at least 3 of each terrain. The Greek fire is on C7, so that's right here. Mm-hmm. So we can put that out.
Okay.
And yeah, we're going to start in G1. It tells us exactly where to start. We are starting right here.
Okay, does that mean we reveal it?
We sure do.
Yeah, all right.
And I assume that, because this is a hill, we don't take this token.
Right.
And there are some extra rules here that explains everything we just talked about. If you reveal a flora without fire, lose a crew, then place the flora terrain token on this path. You can't collect a resource until it's killed. Once 3 search cards are exhausted and Greek fire is obtained, cover any requirements to kill the giant plant.
Okay.
That's much more succinctly said than the rulebook is. And I think it's just as clear.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah, the rulebook spent like an entire dense page to say this, and this is just as... I mean, I guess it doesn't... This doesn't explain what it means for 3 search cards to be exaused.
Yeah, that's true.
So it does need a little bit more than that. But
all right.
Anyway, so we are not literally out here on the board. We just, as we explore more of the paths, we can explore out from those ones.
Right. So any path that does not have a red circle in it but has been revealed, we can explore from.
Right. And I think all that's left is to suggest that you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That's the only way to support us. We'd appreciate it. And then the last other thing there is to do is to decide who goes first. Are we flipping this giant
flip this giant gold coin.
All right.
Do you want the
Try
core,
not to.
the core of discovery or the empty skull, which looks kind of creepy?
Yeah, I'm not about that. I'll be the core of discovery. Don't. Okay, I was gonna say. Oh, it's a skull. Okay, does that mean you're going first?
It sure does.
I was gonna say don't drop the heavy coin on this and cause an earthquake like you did earlier.
No one knew that happened until you just said
it was on live stream. Okay. The world saw it.
The world saw it.
I don't know how many were watching.
All right. So here we go. I'm going to take the first turn. And so this hill gives us a little bit of information. It tells us that in the column and row that this hill is in, there are 2 of these Flora creatures.
And actually, I guess I'm not clear. Does it tell us 2 in the row and 2 in the column, or 2 total?
2 total.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I think I'm going to start by striking out to the east. I found a water.
Okay. We need water.
We need water. We do start with 8 water.
Actually, let's look ahead a little bit. I know that the first challenge is always the same, but what is it?
So the first challenge is approach the arch. The challenge begins, and we need to spend a wood. If we do, we get a food. If we don't, we get a food but lose a water.
Okay.
So this first challenge is kind of like, do you want a wood or do you want to spend a wood or spend a water?
Starts out easy.
But the next challenge, which conveniently, this is also the next challenge in the first game, which is funny.
Oh, is this random at this point?
It's random, yeah. From here it's random.
We just happen to get the same one? Okay.
Yeah. So this is a spend a wood and a skull and a water. If you do, look at one path adjacent to an explored path. If it's a skull, lose a water. If you don't, lose 2 water, lose a destiny card, and gain a supply, which is basically just takes up space in your... Or it's called a sample. Which just takes up space in your backpack.
Oh, that's what the lock thing is? It's a sample?
It's a sample. And then finally, the final challenge this day will be a windstorm, which will require mud and stone in order to build a reinforced wall.
Okay, well, let's find some mud and stone.
Well, let's find a shelter, too, because we kind of want to get started on this path. The first
That's
thing we're looking
true.
for is shelter.
Yeah, well, and we know that the shelter is going to be next to food and wood, but we have no intel on that.
That's true.
Other than wood is likely to be next to this water.
Right.
Or here.
Right.
So, to that end, I was thinking, like, well, it's dangerous, though. We could immediately hit one of the Flora, but
we do have a fire.
I guess that's also just as true out here. We just don't know it.
right.
So, all right. I'll just keep going. I'll just keep hugging the south and explore. Oh, we found some.
We did find.
So this is some a Flora space that grants wood, which is the resource we want. But are we spending our fire to destroy it, or are we letting it devour Lewis?
I think because we have a fire, we should just spend it and try and build up more fire soon.
Yeah, we don't have like anything coming up that's going to punish us for not having fire.
Yeah, I wish I'd taken flint.
Oh, that would have been good. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
In any event, we're going to spend this fire, and then we do get the wood because we spent the fire, and we can continue to explore in this direction.
Okay.
Okay.
And we like discard that from this row.
Yeah.
We know that that's not left out there. Okay.
The danger is that actually each of these cards ends with us going to a Flora spot. So if we can't find a Flora when we need to, we're kind of in trouble.
We'll have to clear rows.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that is part of why I was kind of leaning towards just exploring this row, is like that's a way to get our shelter requirement done.
Yeah, that's a
because
good point.
It's the exploration rewards show what you get for exploring a row, and in this case, it's to advance our search.
Right.
Otherwise, we're looking for... Well, actually, I guess I don't know for a fact. Is this unique? Is there exactly one shelter spot out there?
No, there's more than one. There's 3.
Okay.
There's at least 3 of everything.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That is a
at least 3 of each terrain, it says on here. I didn't realize that applied to the shelter space.
Right, I think so.
Also, okay.
So I think I'm going to go north because a shelter will be next to wood, and we have a wood here.
Yeah, I assume... Does the Flora wood still qualify for all the logic?
I believe it does.
Probably, yeah.
I believe it
okay.
does.
Check it out.
No.
It is a fossil.
That is a fossil. Okay.
Fossilized something. But
This is a good way to generate fire, though. We can spend a fossil along with wood or stone to make fire on.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe we want to do that right now just so we
to?
have it.
Yeah, is that better than saving the wood for the challenge?
Well, I definitely don't think we need to spend it for Approach the Arch. We may want to have the wood for this monster track challenge later.
We have so much time before then.
Okay. All right, so we're going to make a fire right now?
Yeah, let's make a fire. Let's have it so that if we stumble onto more plants, we're ready.
I love it.
Okay, so what do we know about... Oh, all that we know about those fossils is that they occur on the second inner ring.
Right.
Right,
and there's at least
one away
3
from the
of them.
edge, and there's at least 3. Okay. I still think I like exploring the... Let's see. I'm thinking here. Okay, so the shelter like could be right here next to wood.
Could be.
Because the water is satisfied.
Right. That's our best guess.
Yeah. There could be a teepee around here too that would also be nice, probably. Like right now, we would probably gladly trade some water for a resource.
I would, yeah. For a skull, probably.
Probably. But I'm just gonna explore here.
Okay.
It's more water.
All right.
Okay.
That's not the best because we do have a water limit.
So why don't I use my satchel? Exhaust after exploring. Discard the resource or water you just gained from exploring to take a destiny card.
I love it. So do you want this pick to make a deal or one off the top?
Make a deal scouts west of each teepee. We don't know of any teepees, and west is not the more interesting direction, so I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
Pick says discard when you gain a rock from exploring, also gain a resource or water you don't currently have. That's pretty
versatile.
Yeah, and I think we're getting close to the mountain. I'll go ahead and grab the pick.
Love it. All right, the next one to come out is a guide. Discard when taking an explore action. You can explore from an explored path on one edge to an unexplored path in a straight line on the opposite edge.
Whoa.
So for instance, from here to there.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of flexibility.
Turns out the world is round.
Right. Turns out this small square of
the Louisiana Purchase is round. Yeah.
All right. I think, I don't know.
And we're at 4 paths collected, so
we are.
The next one is going to be the challenge.
Yeah. I'm going to continue this way thinking that, we may want to be able to move a step forward. It does seem hard to find a shelter. Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh, it's
another
a hill,
hill.
so this doesn't get consumed.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And we know there's 2, and we know this is one of them.
Yeah. So there's only one more.
It could be one of those 2, yeah.
My guess is it's one in this column, one in this column.
I agree.
And to that end, it seems perfectly safe to keep exploring here.
Sure, why not?
Why not, indeed? Yeah. It's another hill!
Interesting.
All right, also a free move, so back to you.
Yeah. So this is kind of a strategic choice. If we remove this, we do get a free move now, but maybe we don't want to waste a free move now, but maybe we do. Right?
Yeah, I think I would be all for it, just because we have no intel on where that shelter could be, right?
Done.
Okay.
So, oh wait, no, sorry. Before I do this, we're
No, because the last 2 moves have been
free.
hills.
Okay, here we go.
So we gain a food.
Yep. Very nice. And now we have to resolve this approach the arch challenge. We don't have a wood to spend, so we are going to fail this challenge. We do get a food for doing so.
Can I suggest something before you pass a turn? Yeah, I guess you could do it on any future turn. I was going to suggest you put it in your jar.
I think I will.
It's a magic jar that makes the resource inside multiply at night.
Right.
So more food.
I love it. Done and done. Okay. And we failed this challenge, but it's over. And now we have to check our pack size, but we're fine. We got plenty of empty space. We've barely found anything.
It's good for us.
And
if there's one thing we're doing well, it's inventory management.
That's right. That's right. So in 3 turns, we're going to have to find
some monster tracks.
Which is going to be a challenge.
Some flower tracks, as the case may be.
This seems likely to be a teepee, given the location of this food. And that would let us do a trade. Now, I don't know if we're ready to do a trade, because we need this food to eat.
And before we move on to my turn, we have moved the search track, right?
Excellent.
So we no longer need a shelter.
So now we need a water.
Now we need...
I'm going to go ahead and put out this little marker to say I think this is probably a teepee.
I think it definitely is, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's always... food always is going to be diagonal to a teepee. Yeah.
Right. And that means that we're likely to find a skull in this area, which we may or may not want to draw.
Right. Before I pick up a path, by the way, this is my last chance for the round to use my captain's logbook to swap the order of those challenges. Is that interesting at all?
I will say that this is probably a mud.
Okay, yeah.
And then this might be slightly easier to get to more quickly than this.
And it would give us wood, which is something we need for the monster tracks.
Right.
So yeah, I guess why don't I go ahead and use the logbook and let's just swap those 2 challenges.
Sure, the windstorm is coming first.
I've logged it. I've predicted the high winds coming early, and I'm an incredible meteorologist. So.
Right. Madame Boniface is known to be an incredible meteorologist.
Exactly. Okay.
All right.
So...
And by the way, I guess we can say the reason I think this is probably a mud is that mud has to be adjacent to both mountain and water. We have a water here. We know this is a mountain, and all the mountains are next to each other. So if this is a mountain, this is more likely than a random spot to be a mountain.
Yeah.
And then there's a water here. It seems likely that that's...
Let's just find out. It's wood.
Oh, no.
Well,
I'm glad.
There goes your theory.
There goes my theory.
Okay.
Oh man, and no man. Well, it would have been better for the monster tracks now.
Yeah.
Starting off with the monster tracks. That is actually quite bad.
Yeah. Swapping those. At least I don't have to kick myself for like doing that prematurely or something, because that was my absolute last opportunity. You have to do it before there's path tokens out there.
Right. Well, we can go to this teepee to trade that wood for a mud.
Oh, true. Also, this is likely to be mud or rock, since we know this is rock.
Right.
So you could proceed up there and get something that would be helpful.
Right. I think that is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
It's rock.
Okay.
So that is useful. And so now, if you want to, you can go to the teepee and trade for mud. And
the benefit of doing that would be to gain a wood rather than lose an extra water and... So it's actually... Because a lot of the fail effects we don't have.
Right.
And does that just mean they whiff?
Right, it does.
Okay. I mean, we would lose the wood. Yeah, so we'd lose a wood and an extra water. Because it costs 2 water to complete the challenge anyway.
Right.
I think it's probably worth doing.
I think so too.
Yeah. Okay, so I will go to the TP. We were correct that that's there. And let's trade the... So we would trade the wood for a mud or a water for a mud are kind of the 2 options in my mind.
Right.
I guess let's sit on... The wood is also useful for building a fire.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we trade a water.
Okay, got it.
Water for a mud.
We are losing 3 water this way, but I think that's fine. So we're going to then deal with this challenge. We're going to spend the mud and the stone and 2 water, and we'll get a wood.
We were down a lot of water.
We're down quite a bit of water.
When we played a fauna game on stream earlier, we were like overflowing with water constantly.
That game went really well.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's the normal case.
But what it taught me is that this game is easy and that I can spend water as much as I want. So.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to do an explore here. I'm thinking...
well, we do have to resolve the windstorm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I did. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, you did. You just didn't clear it. Okay, right.
Clear this. And we're okay on our capacity here.
So monster tracks. We were looking for, ideally, a skull to pass that. And skulls...
I mean, one of these... This seems...
Oh, it's in one of the... Well, it's one of these 5 spaces around the teepee.
Right. We can go for it.
Yeah.
We do have the wood already, so we can.
In a pinch, if we just need the skull, I can use the pick and get a rock and then also gain a resource that we don't already have and get a skull that way.
But to get a rock, you're going to have to either hope the rock is here.
Oh, I can't explore up from the rock. Right. That's right.
So if it has this red circle, you can't use that as the starting point of your exploration. I mean, drawing a skull is also dangerous because we draw a threat when we draw a skull.
Valid.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I want to find this. I'm nervous that we've made so little progress on this. So I kind of want to find a water, but we don't have any information about where one might be.
Not really, other than there's wood here, which could have more water next to it.
You know, I'm going to strike north here.
Okay.
Because I don't think this is a skull. I'm wrong. Okay.
Oh, it's a skull and a flower.
It's a skull and a flower.
Okay.
So we have a fire, happens. So we can remove the fire if we want.
Probably want to, right?
I think so. And then we're going to get a skull.
Okay, so we've defeated the skull plant.
Defeated the skull plant. And we are still going to draw a threat card. And we have drawn...
Tell us about...
a minotaur.
Oh, boy.
And so we're placing a minotaur right on top of that skull.
So that costs an until that minotaur is gone, that costs an extra resource to explore that row or column?
Right, any resource or water to explore in that row or column. And the only way to get rid of that we know of right now is to find Sacagawea. And we know that Sacagawea is adjacent to 3 wood. And there's nowhere...
nowhere that could be currently.
It's not down here, right? It's somewhere north. So we're going to be dealing with that for a minute.
This is going rough.
Right, and as a reminder, this also has this red circle around it, meaning you can't use this as a jumping off point to explore.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because before that happened... I was going to say, that was our last plant here, so we have no fire. We could at least safely explore that column. Can't anymore.
No.
And
one of my abilities is that I can exhaust to avoid paying the cost of exploring where there's a monster.
Oh, that's nice.
So one time it's an exhaust, but I can do that, at some point. All right. In any event, we are set up to make a decoy with our to avoid this monster.
So the monster tracks are settled. So, I don't know. I might just do something over here.
Yeah.
Oh wait, these are in the Minotaur's row. Jeez, yeah, it's really drawn a wall for us.
It has.
We're gonna probably just have to spend some resources to go through it.
Yeah, I mean, you can wait one if you want, and then I can go through one step, and then assuming that it's not a mountain,
then we kind of have access. Yeah. So why don't I just grab this?
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Or what do we know about this? It's next to food. This could be the shelter space. It's no longer what we do here, but we could. Well, we don't have the resources to build a shelter.
Yeah. Well, no, we do. We can spend a skull on it. I mean,
it would be instead of the challenge. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I really want to find the shelter just yet. So, all right, I'm gonna explore here. It's mud. That could help us build a shelter.
That indicates that this is mountain.
Yeah, mud is always next to a mountain, right?
So that means that this is probably... that makes this so much worse. It's like going to be so much harder to get through.
Yeah, because this must be mountain, right? Unless they're connected. Well, they could be connected this way, but either way, this is not a way up.
Right. It's not a firm way up.
Well, so maybe we need to try to go up that way.
Yeah, that's
brutal.
That is pretty brutal.
Okay, so I did... Oh, never mind. That wasn't one of the resources. I can take water instead with my character, so I guess that's that.
Okay. So I think it's going to make sense. I think you're right. I think the way to go is through this way.
Or this way, I guess, but...
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I do kind of think if this is all mountain, this probably isn't, so that might be that is a risk, but it could be a nice direct way. Like, It could be that this is water, this is mud, would make sense, would follow the rules, right?
Yeah, it'd be nice if we found water.
Yeah.
Because then we could move forward on this, too.
Right.
But I don't know, because this wood's already... maybe it is water. No.
Oh, boy. And it's a plant.
And we don't have fire.
Oh, no. That was terrible. Why did you do what I proposed?
Oh, my God.
What were you thinking?
What was I thinking?
So we... no, we don't get the fossil.
We don't get the fossil.
So this currently has a giant hive mind plant there, and it devours Lewis.
Right. Poor Lewis.
Yeah.
And now we have this monster track thing, which we're going to do immediately.
Okay.
So we're going to spend this and this and this water. And then we have to look at one path next to an explored path. And we can't use this as a jumping off point for this either.
Oh.
And if it's not a skull, if it is a skull, we lose a water.
Oh, okay. And skulls are always...
I mean, we can look at this and we know it's not...
We know that these three are potentially skulls because they're next to a teepee. So... No, that wasn't a skull.
That was a skull.
That was a skull. Oh, so that's the skull for the teepee. So these are actually pretty safe. We could look... Oh, no, we can't look there.
Can't look at that. Yeah.
Man. I'll leave it up to you.
I'm going to look at this because I think it's probably mountain, but it'd be good to know for sure.
Okay.
And it's mountain and a Flora.
Well, we could save that until we need to actually advance one.
That's a good point.
That was some good intel. Yeah. So why don't we mark that?
We can actually just put this on there if we want.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. All right. That's the day.
That's the day.
That
was a rough day.
That went smoothly.
So we've got, at the end of the day, we have to eat some food. Mm-hmm. And then if there are no monsters in play, that's not the case. We do have a Minotaur in play, so we don't have to draw a new threat card.
Oh, nice.
Then we're going to refresh all of our characters and gear. Oh, I could have done this. Oh, well, whoops. I didn't do any of my character and gear stuff. Except...
But your jar...
My jar
multiplies our food?
Multiply our food for next turn. And we'll reveal 3 new challenge cards. And so we've got... a vegetable ursai. That's like a bear with plants growing out of it.
Oh, good.
A minotaur camp. And a flood. So, the vegetable ursai says, have the Greek fire.
Oh, no.
And a stone and water. And if not, we're going to lose 2 water and one of our guys.
Oh, boy.
The minotaur camp is an ambush from above. You have to have Sacagawea and a skull and water. And if we pass, we get to discard a threat card that's active.
That's incredible.
Right.
But we have no
fail,
reason.
It's going to be 2 water and another one of our guys. And then a flood, move to higher ground. We have to, if we pass, we still lose a fire, which is quite bad in this scenario. This is not a good flop of these.
We have absolutely no reason to expect to find Sacagawea in the next day.
Right.
Like, she's probably usually far from the starting location, just because these are not random, right? These are designed maps. So I'm guessing she's not just around the corner from where you start. And also, we haven't seen wood clumped other than here, where we've explored enough to rule her out.
Right. It seems like we really have to go for the Greek fire, though. We can't even get there in 3
get there
days.
unless there's a hill for free.
Oh, no, but you know what?
Right?
I can do a thing. I can not gain the resource or water from exploring to discard that path token and explore again.
Okay. I can
think it's your
also
turn, though, right?
I can also reorder these challenges to buy us more time.
That's not bad.
What about let's look at this flood. We would just need a rock basically.
Right.
And if we don't have fire between now and then, the pass effect which puts out our fire is nothing.
And so how does it read? Do you swap them?
Yeah, so the captain's logbook says swap a face-up challenge card with another challenge card. Neither can have any path tokens on them.
So it'd go like this, basically?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I do think this is easier to achieve than this.
I know, I wish I could have like rearranged all three.
Yeah. But that makes sense to me. I think you did a good job. I think we might lose this one, but, that happens.
Clark's got to go sometime.
That's right. All right. So it's your turn here.
Okay.
You did that on your turn. It's good that it was your turn.
That's true. So
because you can only do stuff on your turn.
I did my logbook.
I'm actually thinking that I thought for a while, this is a solo game. There's no benefit to playing 2-player. But I actually think the timing of when you're able to use items does add an interesting layer of complexity.
True. Right. True. I agree.
Because if it wasn't your turn, then we would have gone and we would no longer have been able to swap this vegetable or something.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the plan? It's to go up this way?
I actually think this way is better. If you take this one,
then you can
this one for free.
Right.
With
okay.
my York ability.
And then we can grab the
Greek fire.
Greek fire.
Right. Which will clog up our inventory for a while, but that's life.
Okay. I will explore here. It's a shelter location.
Okay.
Damn, fuck us, I guess, after we advanced that the hard way.
Right, and we still haven't found a water since then, which is terrible.
And we could build this shelter. Do we want to? Probably not.
I think we want to wait.
We need those resources for the flood.
I think so.
Okay, that was my turn then.
It would be nice to build it this turn, though, because that Greek fire is going to be giving us fatigue forever.
Yeah, unless you put it in your jar. Is it a resource?
I don't think it is a resource. Okay, I'm going to tap York, who's my character, to explore this without paying the cost for going next to a minotaur. And it's a wood.
It's wood, okay.
That makes me feel comfortable building the shelter. Because,
Oh, can you do that at any time?
Yeah.
Beyond? Oh, I thought it had to be in the moment that you uncover this. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
Should we double check? Just the back of the rules are fine. Because it says anytime actions, build a shelter.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think you can do that anytime. So here we go.
I was going to say, I wonder if those resources would be better spent building a fire, but we don't want to build a fire right before this flood hits. So.
Right.
Okay. So we've made it around the Minotaur. And so I guess this is water, which is the next thing on our search. So that's actually, and we're low on water. I think that's a great find. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so it's water.
Beautiful.
We will gain water.
And now we're going to resolve this flood. Wait.
I'm advancing the search.
Shoot, we fucked up because we had to get a stone to deal with this flood.
Oh!
So we probably had to go here.
Oh, no.
It's not too late. We knew this.
Yeah, because these were both known. Right. That's true. Yeah, all right.
Here,
so take back the water. Fair enough. All right, we did it.
We're amazing. All right, so we're going to spend this and 2 water.
The water reserves are not looking
low.
Good.
Yeah. And we just lose a fire, which we don't have. Which is
good. My god! I just thought of something.
What is it?
I wish I had thought of a minute ago. It's not too late to do it next turn, but I can pretty easily get us this guide, which would get us to this side of the map. I wish that we had been talking about that 3 turns ago.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I think that might have been a good way out of this jam.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not too late to do that, but it would have been nice if we had been... If we were going to do that, if we had done that instead of this. Yeah.
Right.
But we can't all be smart.
No.
All right, well, that was my turn.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think it makes sense to continue along this path for now.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're just going to fail this, which is unfortunate, but I don't think there's a way around it.
That's going to cost us 2 water and a crew. Yeah, all right. The Minotaur camp ambush is going to be successful.
Yeah.
So where does this put me for my turn? Because I can't for free explore next to this Minotaur.
Right. I mean, you could continue with the Greek fire, and then we're like kind of in this virgin
Oh, that's
territory
right. And we would get the Greek fire and whatever's on this space.
No, I think on that space is just Greek fire.
Oh, you think under this?
There. I think
so.
That's my guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I had assumed it was like... Yeah, my board game brain wants me to think that this was like randomized, so of course there's something else under it. But again, it's not.
It's not.
It's designed.
Alternatively, I do think we're going to need to go up this way because this is kind of a disaster zone.
Yep.
And like just to clear this, we need to get a fire. So
we're going to need a lot of resources.
So either this or this. Yeah.
Okay, I wish I knew that, because it could also be that the Greek fire is always on a plant space. We have not ruled that out and being there. I guess we'll find out. There's only one way to find out, huh? Mm-hmm. Oh, there's water there.
Oh, that's nice.
So we get the Greek fire.
We do, and we get a water.
And we get a water.
Which is fairly nice.
Yeah, unless... So, before we move on from my turn...
Yeah.
My satchel does let me discard that water to get a destiny card if we want the guide. But I guess now that we have a path up here, hopefully Sacagawea is in this general area.
That'd be nice, yeah.
But
it'd be nice if this was a wood, and then like this was a wood, and then this is Sacagawea.
Yeah. So we would still need to pay to explore at least once with the Minotaur.
Well, I'll be able to refresh the work. But yeah, or we could pay once.
Okay, so and we need the water badly enough that I guess I don't want to discard it for that. So
I think you're right.
All right. Can you put water in the jar?
I cannot. It says not water.
Ah.
I would love to put water in the jar. All right, so we lost the 2 water. We're losing.
Oh, I thought we had one more on that challenge. We sure don't. Okay.
No,
yeah. So we get ambushed. They steal our water.
Right. And they kill Clark.
And they kill Clark. Oh no. All right.
Yeah.
What's this person's name? We've got that this is you and me, and Lewis and Clark. We never named poor...
Collins. Collins is another one.
Collins?
Of the
okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to continue going north.
Yeah.
We also get a destiny card if we finish this column.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but it's a skull. We get a skull.
We get a skull. That's the positive side. The negative side is we're going to draw a threat card, and it's another Minotaur.
Oof. Okay, it's going to go there. Oh, man. Are they cumulative? Does this space cost 2 extra resources now?
I actually don't know that. We can look in the rules for that.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter at this moment. It's not like we can explore it.
Right.
Oh, man. Okay, so we want a rock.
And, yeah, that was a skull, we know. Okay.
We need a rock to survive the Ursa.
Shit. You're so right.
We have the fire, so, like, there's no... It would be kind of silly to not try to pass that.
The problem is that the only rock we can actually access is this one, and we don't get it unless we kill this Flora, which we don't have the fire to do.
Yeah.
I think next time for this scenario, I'm definitely taking Flint. I feel like Flint would make such a big difference.
Okay.
We actually aren't going to get rock. Like, the best way to get rock is to go here and then
because there's no way we can build a fire, huh?
Right. Well, right. Unless if this is rock and we go here and here, then we're okay.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
But that
might not be true.
a thing that we can do.
We can do that. It's just we have to pay a resource. We have an extra food to throw at the Minotaur while we're walking through.
That's true.
I mean, I just can't think of another way to get stone, really. Or if we find a teepee. But...
Yeah. So...
I mean, if we're trying to look for a teepee, like, we know this is not a teepee. That's all we know.
Well, good talk.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess. So, all right, that was a skull. So this is wood, right? Because this water needs to be next to wood.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, might as well throw that out there so that we know.
Yeah. So, like, it's an option to grab that because that would help us eventually build a fire, but... That's wood, which could mean... Hear me out. This space is now touching 2 wood. Could this be Sacagawea? If one of these 3 is wood.
Oh, I was thinking it was only orthogonally.
Is this worth checking?
I love it. That's where I wanted you to explore anyway, so yeah. I think
okay, so I'm going to feed the Minotaur a berry.
Okay.
Explore here.
Good logic.
Oh my
man.
god!
I love it. That's
We've
great.
done it.
So all the Minotaurs die.
This is. I can't even finish the sentence. These moments are where this game really thrives. Is when you feel so smart.
Yeah.
Because not only did we. Because first we had to realize that this was a wood. We didn't.
Right.
Even, it's not like we had found that wood. We had to realize that must be wood, and then suddenly that was a potentially Sacagawea's location.
Yeah, that was great. The entire time I was making deductions on the idea that Sacagawea had to be orthogonally adjacent to
Oh no,
so
yeah.
That was like way
Okay,
better.
so I'll set this over here, and then Sacagawea means that all Minotaurs are removed and cannot appear anymore, right?
She is dead.
So any more Minotaur threats we roll are
Did
safe.
we pay for that with a fire?
We did, I believe. We've spent fire twice since those two.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I put the token over here.
Okay, great, awesome. That's good to know. Okay, cool. Very well done. That makes things a lot easier. Although we still
need
get
a
stone.
rock, and that is like possible here, but that's like kind of the one Hail Mary we could make, right? Is hope that there's a rock here.
I have another idea. Yes, we can do that. Or I can go here, and if it's not a rock, I can discard whatever it is to go again.
Oh. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But it's the wood.
It's wood.
But I will discard the wood to
Okay.
go again.
And does that not keep the path token?
Do not gain the resource from exploring. Discard that path token and explore again.
Love it.
And so I can get this wood.
The rock, rather.
That rock, excuse me. Which will put us into the territory we need to be.
Okay, we fight off the bear.
Fight off the bear. Which saves us a water, which I think is a very important water.
Being our last one, I think I'd be inclined to agree.
Well, we don't lose if we lose this water. We only lose if we have to lose the water we don't have. But
Right.
still, dangerous.
Okay, we're alive.
I am going to jar up this skull, because why not? And
Yeah.
and I've used this. Okay, and now it's the end of the day, so we're going to feed our troops with this food.
Our dwindling troops.
If there are no monsters in play, we reveal a new threat card, so we are going to do that.
Is it a Minotaur?
It is a Minotaur,
Great,
which is great.
so it whiffs.
It whiffs, right. And then we're going to refresh all of our characters and gear, so this comes back, and it doubled the number of skulls in the jar somehow. And then we're going to reveal 3 new challenges.
Just trying to tidy up the table here. We're a mess.
So we've got Planta Cervidia, a rainstorm, and a cold snap. So this is another way to lose one of our crew here.
Oh, geez, that's a plant-infested deer.
It is. We have to make a spear to kill it.
Okay, so we need a wood because we already have a skull.
Right.
And we're going to spend a water.
And then we already have the shelter for this rainstorm, so that's great. And then here we just need to have a fire and spend 2 water. But the reality is, we're spending this water on this. We don't have water, so we need to find water and quick.
Right. Okay. Well, there should be water next to this wood.
Yeah, I
right?
agree. Yeah. I think it's your turn, right?
Yes. It is.
Oh, wait.
Oh, and we're refreshing
Have
our
we done
exhausted
this?
cards. No, we haven't.
Okay. That's really...
We could by doing this.
Right.
But we'd rather light a fire
I think we
first.
only get to do that if we kill it. I think we have to kill it to move this.
Really?
I think so. And we can double check that rule, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you hand me the rules and I'll double check that.
Okay, so we do need a wood to build a spear for the challenge, so I could grab that. We're low on water. That should be water. What else really is there? We don't have much into... TP is up here. There's a TP up here. That's not super interesting. And we need food by the end of this day, but I guess we'll probably stumble on some. Alright, let's see. The pick can also, when we get a rock, give me something we don't have. What is this space? I feel like we should know what this space is. We have so much information. It's not next to water, so it's not mud. It's different from the other things around the skull, so it's not wood or a teepee.
I think we do need to kill the Flora. I mean, it doesn't say... It says if you kill the Flora that you get to advance onto the Flora spot. And if you don't kill the Flora, it doesn't say whether you do or not, which I assume means you don't. But yeah.
Oh, you know, I was... Okay, yeah.
What have you figured out while I was doing that?
Well, I figured out that when I said this was water because it's next to wood, this could also be the water. And in fact, because almost nothing else, this can't be very many other things. It can't be a TP, I don't think, because there's already one next to the skull. Oh, and so it can't be wood or TP or Sacagawea because the skull has to have unique things next to it.
Right.
It can't be mud since it's not next to water as well as this rock. It can't be a fossil because it's not in that second ring. I think this must be water.
It could be a hill in theory.
Could be a hill.
But yeah, it seems
Two
like,
hills in the same column would be... Well, we've had 3 hills in the same row, so...
But yeah, water seems fairly likely.
Yeah. We get a destiny card if we grab this.
Yeah.
Which could give us the guide to then hop across the map if that's interesting.
Yeah, over to here somewhere.
Yeah, is that interesting? Moderately. I don't know. We know we're gonna need water, and I think that this is water, so I'm just gonna do this.
Great.
It's a skull. What? Okay, so I guess 2 skulls can be adjacent to the same teepee. I kind of thought that this, like these arrows, meant that they were always a 1-to-1 relationship.
Maybe,
but
was this a teepee? No,
it's a shelter site.
Right, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess so.
Unless
That seems like a mistake.
Unless the Flora breaks that.
No, I don't think
The fact that that's a Flora skull, unless those like are outside of the logic in some way.
I don't think so. That is weird because this has this vice versa thing. I assumed it meant, but maybe it just means that everything must follow that rule. Anyway,
it's not necessarily
here's
a
a threat
one-on-one
card.
relationship.
It's a Minotaur. So
Okay,
no worries.
great.
But we only have so many Minotaurs.
Yeah,
in
we're
the
gonna
deck,
start hitting
so
real
we're gonna start
threats.
hitting real threats, yeah.
And we gained a skull.
Right, our third.
So when I collect a skull, I can instead take water.
That seems great.
And I think we don't need 3 skulls. So why don't I do that?
Perfect. Thank you, Madam Boniface. That's great.
Okay, your turn.
My turn here. I do think we want to make fire pretty soon.
Oh yeah, no, the description in the rules, like the teepee and skull rule says a teepee is always orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to at least 1 skull, and a skull is always adjacent to at least 1 teepee. So it's not 1-to-1
1-to-1
necessarily.
Okay, all right, I just got a water by exploring here, which is what we expected.
Great. Okay, we're up 2 water. We're starting to look like we could survive the day.
We have enough water to survive the day, right?
Great. Okay.
As long as we can build a fire.
So we kind of want to like not have a fire for the rainstorm and then build a fire to have it for the cold snap. So we need to build a fire in that between challenge 2 and 3 range.
Right.
Or we could build a fire now. Well, we don't have the materials. I could always swap those challenges. Is what I was going to say.
I mean, it wouldn't be bad to get a fire, spend the fire on one of these, and then get another fire if we can.
True. Yeah. Well, we're going to need a lot more resources for that. And to that end, I guess I'll grab the wood we know is wood.
Yeah, I think that
Is
makes
there any reason not to?
No.
Because we're going to need a fire. So... Because you don't ever care about successfully guessing, right? Like this is our one known thing.
That's not I care about. Oh no, I do to build a shelter.
Oh, to build a free shelter.
But
We have a shelter. Oh, we need a wood for that challenge too. Oh, so we definitely want the wood.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we cannot build a spear without this wood. So
Right.
all right, we got the wood. And that was, oops, I said it over here, but that's our 3rd path explored. So we encounter the deer,
We spend a
spear
wood
it,
and a skull
and a water.
and a water to avoid consequences. Oof, this is rough.
Yeah, harrowing is the word I would use.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're really stuck on this. We need the fire to move forward on this. I just think it's so important.
Yeah. But we're gonna... Well, yeah, we would spend it anyway. Cause we just don't want to be sitting on fire when the rainstorm happens. Because
Right.
then it will go out.
Right.
We do get a free destiny card from the rainstorm.
Right. Okay, let's go this way.
Sure. Uh-oh.
Shit.
It's a... Oh, yeah, we didn't have any intel about this column.
No.
But,
I mean, I thought it might be mud because of the stone.
It's
but...
the mud flora. It devours Colin.
No.
You're next in line.
Next in line. Okay. I wonder if we do move forward. Should we just double check that?
Yeah, we certainly could.
I mean...
let's see, because, yeah, search cards.
While you do that, I'm going to try and make some deductions for the camera here. I don't know anything. I mean, so this skull is next to different stuff, so these aren't water. It feels like we're looking for a food or a teepee pretty soon. We've only seen one of each of those on this map, and we know there are at least 3. And it's kind of would be strange if it all clustered right over here. So maybe there's one over here somewhere. That seems likely.
I think
we also know
it counts.
You think so?
It just says if the revealed terrain is next on the expedition trail, move the crew token onto that terrain. Later on, it says that you do not activate the terrain if you don't have the fire, but nothing about nothing about moving the search token was related to activating the terrain.
But on this one,
it just says if the revealed terrain is next.
Yeah. But look at this here. It says if you discard a fire token, and then it says if the Flora terrain you just explored doesn't match. Oh, sorry. If it does match, then you move forward.
But I think that's matching the
All right.
icon that's on.
So we'll move forward, and then we'll look it up on BGG later, I guess. But that makes sense to me. So now we're looking for food. Also while looking for the ingredients we need for a fire.
Yeah. Now I'm curious whether killing a Flora gives us that search progress kind of when we do it later too.
I think so.
That's cool.
Yeah. But right now we're looking for food, so.
Yeah, which we need also to survive the night. So
true.
So what we know food is okay, let's see. We know food is diagonally adjacent to teepees, and we know there must be a teepee near the skull. So there's food here-ish.
Yeah.
I guess we don't really know. It's one of these 5. Because the teepee is one of these 3.
If the teepee is one of these 3,
so the
it can't be this
one. The food
one.
can't be this one. The
Right.
food, this could be the teepee, and this could be the food.
Right.
We also have a skull we don't have a need for, so a teepee is a decent find also, because we can trade, right?
Right.
I
say
guess,
check this, yeah.
Oh, I was going to just go here.
Oh, you can, right. I was thinking you couldn't. Right, that's a good idea.
All right. We know that this is safe from Flora also, right? Because there's 2 from this hill found. So.
Oh, wait, where's this? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Same here, actually. Yeah, we know there's still 1 in this column. How many? So there's this plus 3 more undiscovered. 1 is here. So that means the other 2 are basically hiding in this column or here. Oh wait, also this column.
Right.
We don't know anything about. Okay. So this is not safe, Flora wise, right. And then these 3 columns between those.
And there's 1 more in this column.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Right. But we do know that these 4 are safe, so
they're safe.
Not a bad place to go.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go here. It's a skull.
Okay.
All right, we gain another skull. Although, if we don't want another skull, I can take water instead again.
Well, I think regardless of that, we're gonna flip this threat card. Does the order matter?
It just says when you collect from exploring. Let's say it doesn't. Let's not get too fiddly.
Flash fire. Immediately lose your shelter or 2 water. If you have no shelter, then lose 1 water.
We need shelter for the upcoming challenge, next turn. So I think we gotta lose the 2 water.
Okay, but we're gonna need to get it back.
Yeah, so I can gain a water instead of that skull.
Alrighty. Fair enough.
So return 1 water. So we get 1 water back.
Oh, right, okay. That's fair.
Yep, but we do have to spend 2 of them on the cold snap, so we're gonna need to gain another 1 before then. We also need a food before then.
Right.
This is going great.
Well, I think it makes sense to continue exploring this general zone.
Yeah.
There's
the food. Okay, one thing taken care of.
And that's this challenge. We have the shelter.
Yep.
We don't have to lose the fire. We do get a destiny card, and I think it actually makes sense to draw a random.
You don't think the guide is too useful at this point? I think I agree.
Yeah.
And we still don't really see any use in making a deal. All right, what do we get?
Save 1 fire the next time you're forced to lose 1 fire.
Tarp. Okay.
That's not bad.
Does that mean?
No, I don't think we can spend a fire because it says when you're forced to lose 1.
When you're forced to lose 1. Yeah. Damn.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, you may discard a fire token. Yeah.
All right, so that tells us that there's a TP here or here.
Yes. Oh yeah, because it's adjacent to right, diagonally from food. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Because it could be that it's here, and there's 1 here for this skull, but I guess we don't need to mark all that. No.
Yeah, I guess it seems more likely that it's here.
Okay, so we need a water.
We need 2 water, and we have 3 time to figure it out. Although that TP
Why do we
could
need
trade
2
a
water?
skull. This costs 2 water.
Oh, but we need 1 more to survive that. Because you can be at 0, right?
1.
Yeah.
Right.
You can be at 0. It's the next time you would lose 1 that you lose the game. Is that right?
I mean, yes, but I actually think we're in worse shape because if we don't get fire, which it doesn't seem like we're going to.
That's what we need to do is get the fire. Yeah.
If we can get fire and get the water we need, then we're fine. But if we can't do that, then we're going to lose 2 water plus any 2 other resources.
So Okay, so basically we need all three. We have 3 turns here. We need all 3 of them to be the things that we need, which is 2 wood or 2 rocks and a water.
Right.
Is that right?
That's right.
And there's a little bit of flexibility just because if I find like a skull, I can exchange it for water. But
So let's do a little wood deduction here, because I think we can actually figure out where the wood is. So we know that there's no wood left in any of these columns. So it's these 2 columns.
I forgot about
which is where
that.
the wood
Yeah,
is.
it's one. Okay.
And we know that the wood is in these 2 rows. So basically there's 2 wood among these 4 spaces. Those are fairly inaccessible.
Yep.
So given that,
should we have gotten the
taken
guide? I don't know. I feel like we looked at that card.
All right.
It's probably
fine.
too late.
So that means that we're not going to get this with wood.
With wood. It's possible, right? That like these are both rocks. If they are, we can't explore them both.
These can't be rocks because there's no rocks on the exterior.
Oh, I forgot that.
Yeah.
Not on the edge.
Right.
Oh.
I think we're going to die.
It's sure looking like we're gonna die.
Although I guess if we just got to water in 2 more things, we can just lose stuff.
What can we do with these teepees? We can trade.
We can trade.
So we could trade that skull for one of the things we need.
Right, but then we need 1 more.
Damn.
We can hope.
We should have, if we had taken the guide, that would be a Hail Mary, but possible. Oh, by the way, hey, look. We advanced on the search track.
And so we can flip this over. All right,
oh,
so
yeah.
To win the game, we need a wood and a water. Excellent.
Yep. Or leftover crew members to cancel those, but
which
we're
we have
low,
one,
on those. Yeah. 2, I assume, does this one not count?
I don't think so.
Oh, no.
But maybe it does. I don't know.
I doubt we're going to need to look that up.
I agree. Oh, man. This is much harder than fauna, I feel like.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is map 1 of Flora.
Does that matter? Does that?
I just assume that map 1's easier than map... It goes up to like map 10, but I just assume that 1's the easiest.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily expect them to like be scaling difficulty or anything, but
Yeah, right,
it could be.
Yeah.
Especially because you probably you don't want to look at this at all, so you probably don't look at the number you're about to play. It's not like you're like, oh, let's play a 6.
Well, 1 is on the back of 2. They're in order in the sheet. So,
Oh, okay.
But I'm with you. I don't think you're meant to make a decision on like how easy of a game you want. I'm just guessing that because this one's arbitrarily 1,
you're just trying
to
make this even worse for us.
That's
saying,
right.
Like we're playing on the easiest one. No,
That's
I
exactly
choose to believe that they go from hardest to easiest.
That makes sense. Okay, for sure. All right, what are we doing?
All right. Well,
I kind of want to save the teepee because we don't know what we're going to need to trade for until the end, so maybe we want to wait. The problem is that if this is the teepee, then we're really... Actually, wait, we have 2 teepees.
we don't know that.
Well, we do, right? Because there can't be a teepee...
Oh, because the teepee can't be here.
Can't be there.
Yeah, so we do have 2 teepees. Now that we found the skull, we know that.
This is a teepee, and then this one could or not be a teepee, right? It could be this, or it could be this, or this.
And if it's not this, then there's another food out there that one is diagonal to.
Exactly. I think it makes sense to go here.
I think you're right. All right.
We can use that to make fire.
That can be used to make fire.
Along with
I forgot that. Yes,
that's
I forgot
incredible.
About there was a point in our discussion when mentally I was like, "Oh, I should definitely stay on the ring where the fossils can be," and then that thought escaped my head.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we came back to it.
That's great.
Okay, because you can mix and match that with wood or stone, right? So now if we trade for a stone, we can build the fire. So the other thing we need is a water still, and that's the one place we can reach.
Going to be near here. Yeah, I'm going to go there. And if it's not, remember, I have the discard what you explore to discard the path token ability. So if this isn't helpful to us, I can go again.
All right. So is that where you're going to go?
Oh no.
Oh boy. It's Flora.
So that's the death of this.
So our last... So you've been eaten.
And I don't think I can do
All that's left is our hero, me.
That's right.
And then I don't think that you can explore from there. Oh
it says,
no!
Exhaust after do not gain the resource from exploring. I didn't get a resource from exploring.
Yeah, discard that token. Yeah, it doesn't really comment on what happens when you did an explore that does not generate a resource, but
that's my guess.
Yeah.
And
even so, you couldn't explore from there.
Right.
Right, because it's red.
Right. That makes this probably a TP. Not that it's gonna matter, but.
Oh, because it would be diagonal from that food, yeah. And interestingly, if we were getting really deep into logic, we could have thought about, not that it would have changed our play, but we could have thought about, like, okay, since it was likely that there was a TP and another food here, we discussed that as a likely possibility, that we had not yet found the food Flora. And then we would maybe stumble on
which
it.
Is probably, that's a good point. Oh, man.
So not that it would have, like, we still needed to do something kind of desperate, so we maybe would have landed on the same play, but there was some information to let us know that was potentially kind of likely.
I actually think we could have maybe solved it, because if we'd realized that the TP that's adjacent to this skull has to be one of these two, and has to be diagonal to food...
It would have to be this one?
Well, no, because it could be this one.
It could still have been this.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we could figure out that it had to be this one, then we could have maybe figured it out. That would have been cool.
Well,
I think our expedition's going to come to an end here.
Yeah, because we...
Actually, if you find water, we'll live.
But we need to build a fire also. Oh, we would live.
We'll fail, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll lose these two things and the two water, and then we'll eat.
But where can water be?
I mean, you can trade for it. No, you can't trade for it. No, you can't trade for it.
Because we wouldn't have enough resources then?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think I can reach anywhere that could have water, because it has to be next to wood, right?
Right.
I'm just gonna... We never found out what was on the other side of our starting hill.
I love it.
I'm just gonna go down, exploring home.
Oh, man.
It's another hill.
Oh, we gotta go again!
Oh! Okay. What does that change? What does that change? Nothing?
Nothing.
I think nothing.
Well, we can find out what this is.
Let's find out. It's another
hill! Wait a minute.
Wow.
That's interesting. So, we have the two, so that's actually obviously one.
Oh, there were two here, and there's still one up there. Okay. Well, if this is another hill, and that's water, we're safe.
We're safe. Yeah, exactly. That's amazing.
It's mud. So we know water was
this is
here.
water.
No, we know this is water. Oh, wait.
No, this has to be water.
Oh, this has to be rock. Yeah. All right. Well, just to play this out, we gain the mud.
We lose...
That is not even one that I can explore or that I can trade out to gain water.
Oh, yeah.
So,
So we fail, we die. Because we only have one water to lose, and this costs 2.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that was rough.
That was rough. That was really hard.
Fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like when co-op games are hard. So
yeah.
I think I had more... Like, we played, and you can check out the live stream archive on the channel to see our playing a fauna game where you're trying to defeat minotaurs. And we won that game. I guess spoiler. Now maybe you don't want to go watch it.
Yeah. Pretty
handily. But yeah. I think I'm having a lot more fun this time even though I enjoyed that game. Like, this is what I want from this. I want it to be this, like, pulling your hair out. Like, okay, the red threads on the corkboard.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I will say,
together.
I think fauna can be more difficult. I think we just got lucky with that map and some of our starting choices. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
Like this one would have been a lot easier if we had gone this way first.
Definitely. If we had happened to go this way and found this chain, just narrowed down that many more possibilities,
right?
And also kind of known when we were looking at a minotaur that we definitely had another way up to that part of the map,
right?
Although you never know, if we had known that this was a route we could take, we might have taken it, not found Sacagawea, and had it overall gone worse.
That's true. Not finding Sacagawea is dangerous.
More information is not necessarily something that steers you right.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It was really fun.
It was great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the game.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a blast.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments how Core of Discovery is treating you if you're playing it, and whether you've won a Flora. Yeah, this didn't feel particularly close. We weren't close.
No, I think we were like nowhere on this pathway.
Half the search track, and then had to do the finale where we would have had to spend... one of them was just have shelter, so that was good. But we would have had to spend 2 wood, a skull, a water, and a food there at the end to win.
We were nowhere near that.
No.
So far away.
I'm not even sure there was enough left on the map.
Yeah, I think we were... Yeah, I agree. Brutal.
Super
fun, though.
All right. Well, if you liked our suffering, please make sure you hit the button that says you did. And subscribe to the channel while you're there. Jordan is a regular on the Game Brain podcast. Are you going to talk about Core Discovery on there?
I want to, yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
So you can hear more of his thoughts probably after you've tried some more scenarios.
Yeah, I definitely want to play through. I want to play this a few more times than play all of them.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where else it goes, because you have the others are like expansions, but you bought kind of the all-in deluxe.
Right.
So
and I should say, if you're interested in this game, this is not a sponsored channel. I paid for this copy, but you can get I got a ding and dent copy of this game with all 6 scenarios and all these upgraded bits for $100, which feels like a really good value. There's like
Are there
10 maps for each scenario.
Is that still? I'd assume that Ding and Dead thing was like a one-off.
No, so
online store was getting rid of it.
friend,
That's still
my
available.
friend bought one, and then he told me about it, and I bought one, and there was still one left after I bought. I don't know if they're still there.
I might go pick that up before I publish this video.
There you go.
So that I beat you to it.
Right.
We'll see, because I'm really enjoying this. Yeah.
Give it a look on their website.
And I think it would be fun solo too, although I do kind of think the sweet spot might be 2 players. Like, there was a lot, we were both really collaborating and really contributing. We played this once with 4 players also, and it was just a lot more of like too many heads kind of on one puzzle.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit more like an escape room with too many people in it.
Right. I definitely wouldn't play it with 4. I do still like it solo. I like it this way too. It was fun to talk. When I played it solo, I was like talking to myself like a mad scientist. Like, okay, and then there's going to be a water here, and I'm like doing all this thought. But it's still a really fun way to play it.
For sure.
Yeah.
But with 2 players, you also get that like extra layer of having to sequence turns for whose abilities need to be active at what time.
Right. Which was surprisingly interesting.
Maybe makes it even harder, but it is interesting. Yeah.
And there's one scenario that has a hidden traitor in it, which is so weird. I don't know how that works yet. But
I'd be curious. Like, I guess you must have to play that with at least 3 people, right?
I don't know how it works. I have no idea. I have to look at it.
You can't have a hidden traitor with 2 people.
That's true. It's not very hidden. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, it could be one of those games where there might or might not be a traitor in the game. And then it's like...
Okay, yeah. You know? Yeah, you can play with 2 players if you might both be good.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. All right, well, yeah. I'm bad at closing out videos. Again, I did like the plugs, and then we talked for another 3 minutes.
Right.
But yeah, like, subscribe, Game Brain Podcast. Come back for more videos. We'll be back with all sorts of playthroughs. Maybe more of this game too. Till then, be optimal.